In this video, I'm going to attempt to answer the question, why is modern medicine still so primitive? And when I answer this question, I want to be clear that I'm not being negative or critical of any one group or any person or persons. It's not like that. What I'm just stating is that, modern medicine, I guess in my opinion, is still in a very primitive state. And what do I mean by that? Well, there's a lot of things that medicine and science still don't understand about the human body. For example, and this is a relatively benign example, when I went into my first physiology class, graduate level physiology class, I remember the physiologist teaching the class saying, one of the first things he said to our class was, the human body should live for 300 years and we're not sure why it doesn't. I'm sorry, should live for at least 300 years and we're not sure why it doesn't. It's not designed to wear out in that amount of time, etc., etc., he went on to explain. So the problem is, a lot of what we know in the sciences, because I studied the basic sciences, so I know the basic, I've got my anatomy, my gross anatomy, my physiology, my biochemistry, my microbiology. I have all those classes the same as what would be studied, pre-med, or even in some of those classes were graduate level classes in a professional program. So I'm not a doctor, and I don't want to be either, but I do think I have an understanding about this question. Our knowledge is still at a low level. There's so many things we don't know about the human body. We really don't understand the brain and how it works. We don't understand consciousness. We don't understand pain. That's a big one. If you look in your local drugstore, you'll see shelves upon shelves of different items, whether it's over-the-counter medicine or TENS units or biofreeze or other icy hot or other concoctions to help people deal with their pain. Well, why are they so full, all those shelves? Because a lot of people are in pain. Chronic long-term pain, short-term pain, there's just a lot of pain. And we don't have a good understanding of pain or how it works or how to stop it. And low back pain is a good one too. A good example too, I should say. It's painful. I just went through a bout myself recently, and I realized from that experience that particularly the medical side, they really have a very poor understanding of what causes back pain. I had an episode, I was in a lot of pain. It only lasted about 15 minutes and it went away. And I went into the clinic and I said, look, man, I've never had this much pain before. I felt like I was swimming in pain. Well, the doctor there, well, you seem fine now, and then just sent me home. I mean, and that's fine. But what it really says is that he has no valid way to deal with this problem, and that's the real thing that I'm trying to say here. Like, how different would it be if you didn't pay doctors and hospitals unless they actually fixed you? Think about that. But that's not how they get paid for, quote, treating you, regardless of whether the treatment works or not, whether the surgery works or not, whether the drug works or not. They still get paid. But what if they only got paid when something worked? Wouldn't that create a different set of circumstances for us? It's just something to think about. I know it seems like it might be impossible to have that happen, but what if we did have a model based on that? Doc, you only get paid if you get me better. You don't get me better, you don't get paid. How would that change the scenario and the picture of things? But we know it doesn't work that way, but just some thoughts to think about. The point of this video is to point out that we are still in a primitive stage with our medicine, and I tried to explain in this video why it is. Our modern science, medical science, basic sciences, we do not understand the human body thoroughly enough to solve the problems that we face as human beings. Are we getting better? It seems like it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, it seems like it. But look, you still need a big room to do an MRI. I mean, it's a big machine it takes, and there's so many other treatments and things that are not fully understood. We don't see really what's going on inside the body. Even if you get an ultrasound treatment, think about that. Ultrasound's been around for a long time now, decades upon decades, and it can still potentially cause trouble. It's one of the better used modalities, but it could still cause problems, and people don't understand exactly what's happening. And anyway, that's just one more example. There's many examples, and I'm sure if you're watching this video, you probably have this question yourself. You probably realized yourself that our modern medicine's not in the best state that it could be in. And what's it going to take? It's going to take more time in history. I mean, we have to progress and we have to develop our understanding better. And generally, that's the path that mankind takes, is greater understanding. It just takes time. You know, the people 500 years ago didn't know what we know today. The people 1,000 years ago, well, I guess you could argue they knew some more things than the people 500 years ago knew. If you look at some of the Roman history and their medical sciences, some of the stuff they did was pretty darn advanced for what they had. But, you know, times have changed, we moved on, and of course they didn't have the knowledge. I guess we could argue they didn't have the volume of knowledge that we have today, but our volume of knowledge is still quite small. That's my argument. It's still very small, and there's still a lot of room to go. So this is an attempt to answer, why is modern medicine still so primitive? If you have comments or questions, whether you're a physician or a nurse or just a regular person like me, a lay person, or any other profession or non-profession, you just have a comment about this, feel free to leave one, because let's start a discussion. Thanks for watching.